sometimes people go a little bit too far. If you go too far, YouTube will demonetize you. So, can we talk about Mr. Disrespect?
YouTube medical school to be called Mr. Disrespect.
I'm sorry. I never heard that. Can I tell you? I'm sorry. Dr. Disrespect. Dr. Disrespect.
Put some respect on Dr. Disrespect.
I'm looking at him right now being like, I'll look at you.
I can't think of anyone who deserves less respect than Dr. Disrespect.
Me either. But I mean, the big thing came out with this. So on top of Dr. Disrespect, no disrespect to you, doctor. No disrespect. On top of the... Except I do have a little bit of disrespect to you because like that shit that I hear about you is fucked up. And honestly, like he was on Twitch. I'm gonna let Lexi take some of this too, but he was on Twitch and he got canceled and demonetized and taken off Twitch because he had some messages back and forth in a private Twitch forum, which is called weird thing. It's called Twitch sidebar or something.
Twitch Whisper.
Twitch Whisper.
DMs,
what Twitch Whisper? So he's whispering on Twitch to an underage person, sexting with them. They tell them that he's underage, and then he still continues forwarding texting. Now he came forward and said that he did not send this person any explicit pictures. Rolling Stone came out with this recently, saying that was why he was taken off Twitch. He had a lawsuit against Twitch in 2021. They settled in 2022, and at that point he said we just come to terms to break away. He was done with that. No one even knows what really happened. If there's there's not really a winner here. Twitch was like, get the fuck off our platform, and now YouTube has demonetized him because it's got out more. And on top of it, if this is true, and he admitted that it was true. He admitted it was true. He said he went too far. He said that those messages sometimes lean too much in the direction of being inappropriate. However, I sent no pictures. It was nothing illegal happened, and nothing was shared. No crimes went down, and I actually sued them, and it's all fine. They shouldn't demonetize me. Again, YouTube came forward about this whole thing, and they said, he technically just went across their guidelines and disrespected a lot of people on their board their whole community. They're like, we have to demonetize you, which makes sense. You can't be like trying to molest a kid and then be like, I have 5 million subscribers, I'm fine.
Them? That's great.
They demonetized him. He's done. He can't. They took away his join button. They will not give him money anymore. And on top of that too, this is a bigger issue though too, because I would say this, because YouTube is changing a lot. We're here. We're its platform. We believe in. We've been pushing on here. But Netflix, Hulu, Disney is one that's kind of worried about the streaming world. Disney's actually thinking about getting content creators to come on board at Disney Plus and start doing content creating programs because they see what's happening over here on YouTube, and they see that YouTube's winning the streaming wars a lot of times. Now, of course, they might say, oh, guys, it's not that bad because it's a different platform. We're doing real content. Like, this is real content too. This is what people are watching. This is what the younger generation's watching, and they should be worried. Netflix is not worried yet. They're still like, we're the man. We're fucking Netflix. No one's going to stop us for now. But you hear stuff like this, right? And this stuff happens. Someone has 4 or 5 million subscribers, and then all of a sudden something comes like this. It's got to be, for Disney to do something like this, I can't imagine they'd ever take someone on board because this stuff happens all the time. And I think this guy, he's playing video games and people love it. Great. But if you're really doing what he's doing, like, he's a piece of shit. Like, you don't fucking talk to kids like that. That's just me. Maybe the kid's 17, maybe 16. It doesn't matter. It's underage. Let it be. You got a wife. Keep it in your pants. But overall, Lexi, what do you think? Are you surprised that they demonetized him? And do you think that a company like Netflix maybe would start hiring content creators to make original content for their program? Or are they so deep in their world that they're like, we just keep making our own original content, Netflix, you're greenlit, and not give anybody else a chance? And this is not going to affect us down the line.
Well, Dr. Disrespect was one of the biggest streamers on Twitch at one point in time. He was one of the largest respected streamers on the platform. And he so if you remember correctly, when Facebook, they were trying to start their own competing service, I think it was, with Twitch, when they were trying to pull Ninja off of Twitch during...
I think it was Google.
Was it Google? Anyway, whatever their streaming service was, they pulled a $1 million plus contract over for getting Ninja on their platform. And so when they did that contract with him, Twitch got a $10 million or more plus deal with Dr. Disrespect for their platform. And
Jeez.
so they had a massive, like, this was like the Joe Rogan level deal, like Spotify of Twitch. And Dr. Disrespect was signing his deal with that level of deal. This was massive. He was about to become the biggest streamer on the platform. He was about to be like hugely endorsed and whatever. He had his massive ad come out, fairly expensive ad too, and he was using Whisper service, which was not a service that was accessible to anybody except top creators. It was like a top tier creator service, and he was doing this. And then all of a sudden, right after his major announcement with this, it came out that the contract fell through, and all of a sudden people were like, "What happened?" And he was like,
"This is like 2020, right?"
Yeah, and he's like, "I can't talk about it." And they're like, "Well, what happened?" And he's like, "I can't talk about it." And they were like, "Why did this deal fall through?" And he's just like, and he made like some vague statements or something like that. And everybody was kind of like, "Oh, Twitch must have pulled back, or Twitch must have done this, or there must have been like some behind the scenes something or whatever." But no matter what, nobody thought this. This was the last thing anybody thought. And the way that he presented himself, he was like, "Oh yeah, no, the deal's off, like whatever." And he's like, "I'm going to have to get off of this platform and I'm going to have to switch over to YouTube." And then he took his business and everything over, and then he switched over to YouTube. And then all of a sudden the allegations from one of the Twitch, moderators, they were like, "Hey guys, do you want to know why this guy is gone? This is why." And he just like leaked it. And he tried to pull back on it. And people were like, "Nah, I don't know about this. Like, this seems kind of like weird." And then he tried to pull back on it again. And he's like, "No, this is like coming back a bit too much. Like, it's seeming a bit too authentic." And then he finally was like, "Yeah, all right, I did it." Like, he finally admitted, like, this is why I lost my contract. This is why this is why it all fell through. This is what I was doing. And then it was like, he tried to use vague language. He had an original voice recording that he put out, and then he had to switch the language in it again. And then he deleted it and brought it back, and people saw the original recording and re-released that. So then he had to go back and delete the one where he changed the wording and put that one back out. And then his company that he created and founded fired him as the CEO. And we're like, "Yeah, you're out of our company now."
Wow.
And so now he's fired from his own company as his CEO. His wife is divorcing him, obviously. And now you're saying that he's been demonetized from YouTube because he was like, "I'm still going to keep it going. I'm still going to keep it going." And of course, there was a strong male fan base that was like, "We got your back, bud. We got your back. We got your back."
I mean, people are watching him. They love watching him play games. That's like, I went to his page when I heard about this. And of course, we're always trying to see what content creators are doing. And it's like, he bunch of videos and people love him. They loved him on there. And it's like,
Dr. Disrespect was one of the most respected Twitch streamers. Like, he was one of the best. Like, hands down, he was one of the best gamers out there too. So it is considered a loss to the community that this guy is.
He's done. I think he's done.
Oh, done.
I think he's done. I don't think there's a way he's coming back from this.
There's no coming back from this. The lies and the way he handled it, and the way that he handled it the first time, and it's an embarrassment. He came out and he said all this stuff, and then he goes, "Twitch stream at whatever" at the end of the chat, and then he got on and did an Elden Ring stream.
Don't forget to follow, subscribe, join my Patreon.
And then he had the most embarrassing Elden Ring stream that anybody's ever seen in their entire life, and it was like him in the middle of the stream just having a breakdown in the fucking stream.
Oh man,
it was nuts. It was the craziest shit. It was so funny.
He messed up and he got caught, it's. That happens to people all the time, and you can go from being a very big celebrity like that, even on a platform like this, to nothing, just like that. I'll
tell you what, though, if you're not afraid to wear them, those Turtle Bay headsets from Dr. Disrespect, I guarantee you getting those things for 70% off right now, 80%.
Right.
Probably.
His merch is on clearance.
The clearance.
Oh, those were
Rachel.
Topia headsets. Those used to be $150 headsets. I guarantee you, you're getting those things for peanuts now, man.
Rachel, is there any world where he has a career again? And do you think that this could affect like these streamers, you know, like YouTube, like Netflix, Hulu, Disney, like trying to be like, oh, maybe we'll take a back burner to this and not actually try to hire some of these content creators?
To address him having a career, I think he's done. This is not unsimilar to a few years ago. Pro Jared was caught sending dick pics to young girls.
Jared.
Oh boy!
And that tanked his career. He's done, as it should. As it should. Like, I don't think it should be a debate if this man is going to have a career. You shouldn't. I think what is harmful about these kind of creators in a lot of ways is that a certain demographic looks up to them, and that demographic is young boys mostly. His audience and the audience who watches streaming games is like 90% the like 14 to 22-year-old men. And you don't want these people to be looking up to people who are doing things like this and going, oh, well, I'm still going to support him. It's fine. That's going to create a culture in these young men that's not something that we want to perpetuate. I couldn't find anything about the age of the person.
Yeah, me either. I was looking.
Minor.
15.
15?
15?
Oh,
So,
yeah.
It's not like it would be much better if they were 17, but if they're like...
The age, she told him.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it was
in my opinion, I think it's not a controversial opinion. If you're an adult, you have no business talking to children, period. Unless they are your children or you're related to them somehow. Why are you talking to this child? Don't be creepy. Don't be weird.
Also, like, sexually talking to them, too.
Right.
It's weird.
Like, first of all, you have no business. And, like, it's the same shit Drake tried to pull with Millie Bobby Brown. He was like, well, it wasn't inappropriate, but you didn't have a reason to be talking to her. She's a child. You're an adult.
Yeah.
You're just...
I just think that he's...
Andrew's got something to say about that.
He buried himself, but the biggest thing too is I keep hearing about Disney's thinking about hiring content creators, and it's like not Netflix but Disney.
That's been going on since the beginning of YouTube, basically. Like Nickelodeon had a Fred show and an Annoying Orange show.
Oh yeah,
like,
I worked on that Fred show.
They're constantly trying to bring in YouTubers because they're constantly trying to. Let me talk, Lexi. It's my turn. Okay. So they're constantly trying to bring in YouTubers. I was going to mention Jake Paul, and I think the only one that has actually been successful was for really little kids was Ryan's World with the Ryan Toy reviews. They've had no success with having YouTubers on mainstream television. Jake Paul fucking failed. He embarrassed the fuck out of Disney when he was on Aardvarks or some shit. I was too old to know what the fuck it was. So he embarrassed the fuck out of them. They're not going to try to touch anything in that realm again. And I think it kind of defeats the purpose of being on an open platform like YouTube, because the whole point is not having those corporate overlords that really tell you what to do and being able to make your own unscripted or scripted content.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Disney's going to try to find somebody that fits into their algorithm, though, I think, somehow, I think they're going to try to find somebody that's like a Fred. And I worked on that Fred show. It's called Marvin. He got his own show, and it was pretty much like he was an alien that comes down and lives with the family. And it did one season. Didn't even go that well. They did movies, though, multiple movies. Maybe those try to find more people. And they kept making those Fred movies. I was like, all right. I think John Cena was in one or something, too.
He was.
I was like, yeah,
that
right.
That was at the very start of his career.
Yeah, it was very. John Cena's like, I'll take anything right now. I just, body slammed the guy yesterday. I'm ready to get into that ring, in that TV world. So I don't know, Paul, you hear about this too. What do you think? Do you think that like Disney's gonna hire more content creators because they're afraid of YouTube that overcoming them and becoming a bigger than them and take away their streaming wars?
I have no idea. I think it's a smart business move to do that. I mean, logically, it makes sense. That said, there's a lot of streamers that are they're big. It sounds like a lot of them are toxic, and there's not all of them, but there seems to be a pretty good amount of people, especially if you think about video gamers, that are just extremely. When I think of video gamers, I think it's a very male dominant place, and it shouldn't be. There's a lot of female video gamers, and there's a lot of shit talking, and it's a bit toxic. And I don't know if that's going to mesh well with Disney. That's hard to say. I think Dr. Disrespect, I don't know much about him, but he's coming off as a creepo. And if there's a continuation of that, I can see Disney backing off of that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing.
I love that going to the thank you for watching me on. I like I'm in a TED talk. I'm a video watching myself in a video of a video. Thank you. But yeah, I don't have a leg in this race. I don't.
A dog in this pony. What's that?
Dog in this pony, as they would say. I don't care either way. I just think from a business standpoint, it makes sense to go after people that, make a lot of money. If you want to make a lot of money, you try to emulate what they do,
Yep. And then maybe you can find a way to get yourself to the top of the YouTube algorithm,
Yeah.
The algorithm's fucked anymore.
We love you, YouTube. And you know what? We will never do that shit.
The algorithm.
By the way, we love you, YouTube Daddy.